Hello, my name's Kudoi Michael. The other day, I had an opportunity of speaking to great men and women on why we react the way we do, as well as just understanding, triggers and healing from emotional wounds. And the fact is, the timings we are living in are precarious times. We are living in sentimental times where emotions are running very fast, and the old generation is saying that this is a perfect picture generation, while the younger generation is saying that bring it on. We know it. However, the reality is that triggers and reactions are not selective. They are there and they are part of human. And human being by nature, we emotional being. And being emotional, it means we have impulse, we have feelings, and these feelings they come and constitute to reaction. And reaction can be verbal or non-verbal, and reaction are not accident. Reaction, they are revelation, very deep revelation. They reveal so much. And when you want to know the person, sometimes you become keen on how they react, and that reaction comes from the deep. Just like a good system, always has two parts: the front end and the back end. The back end control the front end, and reaction are visible. They are front end, and they depict what is happening at the back end. And just like good words, they say, out of fullness of heart, the mouth speak. And when the mouth speak, you can be able to tell who the person are. And this is so important because human beings are governed by relationship. And you know that, by the perception of people seeing you, the way you react, people can define you. And the most important part is that we need to know who we are. Who are you as a person? Are you aware of who you are? How do you manage those reactions? Because the reality is reaction will always come. The reality of life is that you are going to face challenges. The reality of life is that challenges that you faced yesterday may come today, and the approach speaks. And if you don't react accordingly, then you create something that is a pattern. It becomes something that is repeated. And if it's a wound that is not healed, then it means it's just waiting for an opportune moment for it to manifest. And that opportune moment just wait a trigger. A trigger is something that signal and signify. It's a signal, it's a pointer. And when a trigger comes, this trigger is meant to put you off. This trigger is meant to, bring distortion, to change your mindset, to change your emotion. And if you're not keen, then you may end up losing relationship. You may end up losing, meaningful association that can help you. And because we know our destiny is catapulted through relationship, then it means you won't be able to go to the next level. And we are the generation that want to finish. And if you're going to finish, then it means you have to have that awareness of who you are, your identities. Who are you? And what constitutes the triggers? Do you know why you feel certain way? Do you know why you react certain way? Once you understand that, that's a game changer, because the greatest enemy is the enemy from within, not from outside. Once you can conquer your own enemy, then you can face the world and be able to overcome everything. And these triggers, they are built through reactions. When the reaction comes, they'll cause that trigger. And you have to know how best you can be able to navigate those triggers. To someone, a trigger may be, feelings. A trigger may be anger, an anger issue. A trigger may be something that puts you off. You choose to make something out of gimmick, out of what somebody comment, and this is unfortunate because you have to develop that mechanism to self-regulate. Because once you regulate yourself, then you're able to know when to speak and when not. This does not mean that you remain silent when you're supposed. Sometimes silence can be denial and it can be detrimental. There comes a times when silence is treated as betrayal. Therefore, you have to have a mechanism of confronting the issues that are beholding you. And since we want to be effective, since we want to be better people in this dispensation, then it means we have to go back and learn some things. And all of us, we have patterns. And unfortunately, if this pattern keep on reoccurring, then they become familiar. And in spirituality, there's something we call familiar patterns and familiar spirit. They find a way of keeping on coming through down the line of your life. You find yourself doing the same thing today, yesterday, last year, and it become a habit. And if you don't overcome that, then what you are doing is you are postponing a problem to your next generation. And the enemy you don't confront when you are young will live on to fight you when you are old. Why would you suspend something that you can face today and fight? Why do you want to carry a baggage into your tomorrow? Why do you want to carry history that is holding you, down? It's a wake-up call. You have to come up and say, no, I refuse to be held hostage by this wound. I know it's painful. I know I face this, but this does not mean sweeping it under the carpet. The best is confronting it and saying this one has to stop here. And once you confront, then you become the best version of yourself. And you're able to see even, from the contemporary world, the leaders, or the decision they made, and which were contrary, that impacted negatively to the organization. As a leader, how can you lead somebody if you cannot govern your own emotion? As a husband, how can you lead that family that God has given you the mandate? How can you protect, provide, be a priest, be a prophet over that family if you cannot control your own emotion? That become a disaster. And that's why it's very important to do an awareness, an analysis, intentional analysis of yourself. Where have I fallen? And you change because you want it the better for your next generation. And once you change, then you have developed that mechanism of even understanding why people react certain way. And this comes with empathy because you are aware of yourself and you know this person is saying this because they do this. You put yourself in their shoe and you understand why they behave certain way. And I believe these talk are so important and these talk are meant to help us become better in our operation, better in our life. We become effective on how we relate with other people so that people can see us as solution, agent of solution, so that the heart that we have, we don't transfer those heart. And we saw even from the history and the good Bible, and we saw people and men who destroyed their destiny on the virtue of trigger. A man like Moses, because of anger, he could not see the promised land. He aborted his own destiny. Why do you want to self-sabotage your own destiny? It's a wake-up call. Even another man in Genesis chapter 35, a man by the name Jacob. Jacob had two wives. One was Leah and Rahel. Rahel had challenges. She had wounds that were related because she could not bear a child. But when God opened the womb and she got her last son, when she was giving birth, because she had gone through pain and it was part of her life, she named the child, gave the name of the child Benoni, meaning pain, the son of my sorrow, which was unfortunate because of the pain that she had gone through. And fortunately enough, is that Jacob showed up at the right time and he said, no, I refuse. I'm not going to allow this name to be part of this young man. And he gave the man Benjamin, meaning the son of my right hand, the son of my authority, the son of favor. And we see even the generation of Benjamin became great. We see great leaders like King Saul. We see great leaders like Queen Esther. We see great apostolic dispensation leaders like Apostle Paul, who came through the same tribe, because one man decided that yes, there is a pain, but I'm not going to allow that pain to dictate the tomorrow. That that heart that you have can come and play into your future. Don't allow that pain to destroy your tomorrow. May you rise above and say, no, I'm not going to allow my history to dictate the pain that I went through, or I'm not going to allow it to go into my next generation. I love you all, and I believe this kind of talk are so important even as we navigate these timings. Shalom. I love you all. Blessing.